Audible. Usually it's 8:20 on Fridays. Today it's 7:20. And we have the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. Good morning, Coach. How we doing?
Good morning, guys. I need some of that Black Rock coffee this morning. I mean, you guys make me get up a little earlier than I like to on this day. But great to visit with you guys. And not surprised that Sean's not there today. I'm sure he's tired somewhere.
Yeah, that's become just the norm for him. He just I think he's worried about having his football intelligence exposed, Coach, and it happens. Now, it's been, Coach, wanted to lead off with this. It's been obviously a very difficult week for the team and Cowboys fans with the passing of Marshawn Kneeland. I know you've spoken plenty about Marshawn this week, including, that you guys don't move on, you move forward. So I'd just love to hear some of your memories of Marshawn and how you guys are moving forward this week.
Yeah, well, again, it is kind of the main thing I'm living by right now, and that our team is living by. Right, we want to always remember and always honor Marshawn. He was an incredible young man. He had the most playful spirit, just fun, jovial. He loved everything in life, in football. Loved his teammates. And, just his smile was so contagious. He could light up a room when he walked in there. And, we've had a chance to share a lot of stories over the past couple of days. We've had a chance to laugh. We've had a chance to cry. But yesterday was a really, really good day for us in terms of the energy felt normal. The practice had good energy. And our guys are ready to get out there and play football. And, let's be honest, guys. I mean, tragedy strikes and it's awful. And, man, we miss Marshawn terribly. But, football and what we do is a great distraction. And I felt that yesterday from our guys. And the best way to honor Marshawn is to go out there, play hard, play well, and find a way to beat the Raiders.
Coach, it's not an easy transition to anything else, but you do have some guys coming back this week, Overshown, Revel returning. What can we expect to see from them? Will they be on pitch counts? Do you think they hit the ground running?
Yeah, each guy will be different. Each situation's different, guys. Obviously, Demo is a guy that's, played a lot of football, so you might see him do a little bit more than a guy like Vaughn, who's, kind of just getting his feet wet. But I tell you what, guys, it's been great watching those two guys run around. And, we started the practice window for Malik Hooker, who, is just a huge part of what we're trying to do on defense. So hopefully he continues to have a really good week. And I would say he's trending to play. And then, of course, there's a couple new guys that we were excited to see that we haven't really seen in Cowboy jerseys. And, of course, that's, Quinnen, who, just is an incredible young man. I love his spirit. And then Logan Wilson, who just, his football intellect, football IQ has been great. It's been fun to watch him and K9 compete. And really that's what we're trying to do, guys. We're trying to, get these guys back out on the practice field. And, again, the mantra of compete every day doesn't change. And, again, I'll say this because I do tie things, and I'm very comfortable tying things back to Marshawn. The one thing that, I want people to know about Marshawn is he truly did believe in competing every day, trying to be the best version of yourself every day. And we've got a team full of players that believe that too.
Coach, I remember talking to some folks with the organization last year, and they were talking about the way that DeMarvion Overshown really attacked his rehab, and that they were like, man, a danger that can occur in those instances is you end up feeling kind of isolated from the team, and you can end up kind of hanging your head a little bit. And they said DeMarvion, last year coming back from the first knee injury, was the opposite of that. He said, no, we're going to attack this. This is like our position group, and was really optimistic. And I know we've seen that carry over to this rehab as well. In your experience with players, how crucial is that optimism and that attitude and the way you hold your head up through rehab in terms of having a successful rehab and coming back from that?
Yeah, I think it's everything. I think everything in life starts with a mindset, and his mindset was, okay, I can hang my head and feel sorry for myself, and man, not me again, and all that stuff. He has never done that from one moment. His drive, his intensity, his work ethic to get back has just been truly unmatched. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, I remember hearing him say, hey, I want to be back by Thanksgiving. And, of course, I wasn't doubting Demo. I never would, because I know his character and his spirit. But I was like, man, it seems like that's going to be here soon. And here he is, more than likely beating that marker. And, again, but it's so important, with just kind of the way you think and the way you talk to yourself, and I think his self-talk has to be incredible because he's never allowed himself to go down into the rabbit hole of why me, woe is me, I can't believe I have to do this again. If anything, he's the other way. He's like, heck yeah, man, this is a chance for me to prove everybody wrong, and I'm going to beat that marker of whatever time they think I can get back by. And, man, what don't you love about that?
Brian Schottenheimer, join us here at 105 through the Fan. All right, so it's your first bye week as a head coach. How much of a reset or an inventory, do you take about where things are as a team at the bye week, or do you not try to change too much up?
No, you look at everything. I mean, we really did. What I love about it is that the week slows down and you're able to dive into the video. So there's stats galore. I mean, you guys. I've been impressed because you guys have about as many stats as we do. I'm going to have to talk to our analytics people because there's no reason we shouldn't have way cooler stats than you guys. But what I love is the stats are a starting point, but you got to turn on the video. And, I think going through the video on really all three phases, offense, defense, special teams, it pointed out just very clearly the things that we're good at, the things that we need to improve, and then, quite frankly, the things that we're not very good at. So it doesn't mean that you don't try to fix some of the problems. You do, of course, and I'm certainly not going to share with you guys those specifics. As I'm sure Pete Carroll is up at 5:30 this morning listening to your show without Sean. But in reality, there's a number of things that we just really felt, wow, okay. All right, we are not very good at that. So how do we either make it better, and if you don't feel like you can make it better, which there are some cases of that, then you get rid of it.
We didn't tell you, Sean's actually in Vegas. He's with Pete this morning.
Not surprised at all. This guy, I tell you what, from the time he got my reservation screwed up at the restaurant in New York, I mean, I've known he's not a fan of mine. It's messed up.
All right, so you mentioned Pete. Obviously, y'all have a history together. And obviously, this team's not doing what Seattle did in terms of their success yet. But how much of what they're trying to do in Vegas have you seen on film is similar to what they were trying to do in Seattle?
Well, it's a really good question, and again, I'll start offensively. Yeah, of course, very good question. But it's on offense, the Ashton Genty draft pick just tells you a lot of what you need to know, right? Pete's used to having big backs, physicals. You go to Marshawn Lynch, people like that you can turn around, hand the ball to off 30 times, things like that. He wants to do that. He went out and got a quarterback that he knows and trusts in Geno Smith, who truly between us is, I've been around some incredible quarterbacks. There's not many that throw a more beautiful pass than Geno Smith, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. And, you see them trying to, utilize their matchups. And, Bowers is a really good player. Tucker's a really good receiver. So you see that. The biggest thing that I see, and they're playing a lot better now, is the interesting thing for me is just the hybrid defense that I'll refer to, because you see some of Pete's influence in the defense, but you see a lot of Patrick Graham's influence in the defense. And so I think, again, right now they're not winning a lot of games, but they're playing well, and you can see where Pete's taking this thing. And again, it does take time, but that's probably the biggest thing for me is just I'm used to seeing Pete, and his spot drop cover 3. They were the best in the world at it, man, and they still do that. Like I said, there's still his influence, but I think it's definitely a hybrid with him and Patrick and the defensive staff.
Brian Schottenheimer joined us here on the D&M Leasing Hotline. Have you found throughout your time in the league that the former assistant, do they have the advantage in situations over the other head coach, or is it more unknown, or are the secrets all out there?
No, I really don't. I think at the end of the day, this game's going to come down to, like most, execution. when we execute guys and we play with good fundamentals and we communicate, we're really good. And then, when we don't and we're sloppy or we shoot ourselves in the foot, you end up not playing well. And when you don't play well, it's going to be hard to win in such a competitive league. But I don't think the advantage, falls either way. When you know each other, you have to almost be a little bit cautious about that you don't overthink. Well, oh, I know what he's thinking here. Oh, I know what he's thinking there. Because at the end of the day, we're not the ones out there playing. And it comes down to the players and playing with the right play style, playing, with great effort. And then just, the physicality of the game is really what drives winning and losing.
Coach, you mentioned physicality of the game. That was something that appeared very apparent on Ashton Genty's tape when he was coming out of Boise State. He's obviously there with the Raiders now. You mentioned him a little bit there. What were your impressions of Ashton Genty when you got a chance to look at him during the pre-draft process and how he's playing to this point?
Yeah, again, I will say this. I love the young man. I know he's a local kid. And, again, I loved our time when he came in here for an interview. And I believe in his makeup is going to turn him into an incredible pro. His talent jumps off the film. Everybody's seen it from his time at Boise, and his explosiveness, his ability to change direction, his pad level that he plays with. And, quite honestly, I mean, he's doing okay. There's been some tough looks to run into, and that's part of, playing running back in the National Football League. But I do think the sky's the limit for this young man. And, again, he's a guy that I won't be cheering for this weekend, but every other week I will be.
What did you make of his, they called it the Michael Myers stance, where he was standing like straight up in the backfield, not in a crouch? I don't know if you noticed that or you heard about that. What did you make of all that?
It just, it worked for him. It's definitely something I haven't seen. I know exactly what you're talking about. But it's a little bit like a quarterback's throwing motion, man. Like if when Phillip Rivers threw the ball as uniquely as he did, as the quarterback coach of the Chargers, I wasn't about to change a guy's throwing motion that threw for 30,000 yards or whatever he did in college and high school, whatever that was. But the same type of thing, man. It was unique and different, but it certainly did not stop his effectiveness.
Coach, we were on the DallasCowboys.com website. We had a chance to talk to Leighton Vander Esch 2 weeks ago, and he had done a sit-down with us and talked about the acquisition of Logan Wilson and DeMarvion Overshown coming back. And he kept underlining that, man, the way Logan Wilson is a football IQ and the way, Demo is a football IQ, like, you have no idea how big a boost that is to a defense when you get that at linebacker. You get to insert that right away at linebacker. How much can you rely on those guys to kind of be key cogs in your communication when Logan Wilson is just getting here to the organization and DeMarvion Overshown is just coming back to the football field?
Well, I think, Leighton's a guy that clearly understands how difficult it is to play linebacker, and he understands even more so how difficult it is to play linebacker in this era of football with cut splits, motion shifts, cross the ball, jet actions, and things like that. But again, in reality, both those guys do have incredible instincts, but it is unique for Demo because, again, let's be honest, he hasn't been practicing for a while. And so it's getting his eyes working correctly again. It's getting him to fit the right gaps. And the incredible thing about Demo is sometimes if he's a little slow to go or if he starts into the wrong gap, his athleticism and play style makes up for it, man. He still finds his way to the ball. And then, of course, we're still learning Logan, but again, football instincts and ability to communicate definitely jump off the film. And in my one exposure to him yesterday at practice, you can definitely see a guy that's quick to dissect things, and that definitely helps.
Do you have a restaurant picked out in Vegas? Do you have a go-to?
No, Sean and I are going to talk after we get done with this show, and we're going to meet up since he and Pete are going to go someplace really nice.
On them, of course.
On them, yeah, on Pete.
Well,
absolutely.
It's definitely on Sean. Let's be honest, it's definitely on Sean.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks, Coach. We really appreciate it. Good luck.
All right, guys. Yeah, great talk to you guys.
Brian Schottenheimer, brought to you by the Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys.
I think that was that's such a good way to term it, like he did earlier this week, and kind of emphasize there again about Marshawn Kneeland. You don't move on, you move forward. And I think that's clearly something that I